Force. Once again, this is Captain Frugal reporting for duty for another episode of Road Rage. I know it's been a while since I've done a Road Rage video. For all of you that are new, Road Rage videos, I use a hands-free set. I just put my phone here in this little holder that I've got, that I made, concocted, that you can't see here. Sorry, I know. And I just chat, and it's conversational tone. I hope to hear back from you in the comments section. So also, if you like these videos, please help out the channel by hitting like and subscribe. Hit that notifications bell if you don't mind, because yes, subscriptions don't mean anything anymore to YouTube. Also, if you want to help out the channel, please be sure to look at our info bar down below. We have two ways, actually three ways you can help. One way is by our Patreon for as little as $1 a month, where you get Patreon exclusive videos on occasion. I threw in there updates and things like that that only patrons can get. And then I have a Streamlabs link there where you can click and do a one-time donation that way. And we also have Redbubble where you can buy Frugal Force merch. Okay, now the shilling's over. I needed to get that out there. The channel could use all the help it can get. Well, anyway, wow. You know, finally it's not raining for the first morning in like a week. Well, anyway, I want to talk about the success of ComicsGate books and why they're potentially successful. We've got, Ethan Van Sciver tearing it up with success. We've got Lone Star kicking butt. With that, we have, the Cyber Frog. We have newcomers to the comic book game, like the Umbrella Guy tearing up, Sweetcast tearing it up. I mean, all these tons of books are tearing it up, these indie books and things like that. And one might ask, what is the common denominator? Why are these books successful? These are the books that these SJWs keep saying are going to fail. These people are going to fail. They're burning their bridges. They can't make it. They'll never be successful. Ren was wrong. SJW Spider-Man was wrong. All these big wackadoodles have been wrong. And it's really not that hard to see why. When we boil it down to basic business principles, or marketing principles in this case, which is part of business nonetheless, why are these books successful when books that Ren have been put into, because she's pretty much been a shill for Marvel and things and causing trouble, gets put into a book and yet they can barely get funded? But yet somebody like that Umbrella Guy, once again, I'm not picking on the Umbrella Guy, I'm saying this is a positive, has never put out a book before and has managed to be incredibly successful. Or Sweetcast. Hopefully I can get some of that level of success. I'd be happy with that if I get mine done and out there. Well, here's my reason, the common denominator of why these have been successful. It boils down to four basic principles. So first one is product. They're making a product that people want. They've listened to the consumer base and are making something that they desire, whether it be a style of 90s high quality art, an interesting family friendly story, or just a good story without politics thrown in your face. That's what people want. So first of all, look at what Marvel and DC have done. And then when people complain about it, they hardly do anything. Even though they watch the sales dwindle, they say, oh, it's just a few people's voices. If it's only a few people's voices, the sales wouldn't be hit as hard as they are. Okay? It's a lot more people's voices than they're giving credit for. So they're providing a product that has not been fulfilling a need for the consumers. Consumers have not been getting this kind of product, and now they're seeing it and they're buying it up. So that's one. The product has to be the right product. The next one is a little controversial in my opinion, and that's price. Yes, I know these have a higher price point than your $3.99 off-the-shelf comic, but if you look, you get a lot more for your money through these Indiegogos and things at $25 a pop and things. You're getting signed books, or you're getting special cards and things like that. Those are all incorporated in the price in these packages. Plus, for somebody to pay a price, they have to perceive the value of the product is worth that price. So evidently, the value of this product has been high enough for people to value buying it for that price. Whereas Marvel and DC, in some regards, depending on what issue, of course, in a lot of regards, have been failing to do that. People say, $3.99 for a book that's going to lecture me and have a couple pages of content, mostly a lot of blah, blah, blah talking that doesn't go anywhere because they're padding for the trade, is not worth $3.99. Because by the time I buy 5 or 7 issues, it's cost me a fortune for that story. So people are perceiving there's much more value in these books from these other writers. Okay? And I'm not saying you have to agree with every one of these writers or artists and things like that. That's your choice. That's your decision. But so far, you can't deny they're making a product that a large portion of people want. They're providing it at a price that people are willing to pay. And that's the kicker there. Some people want to complain about the price, but here's the truth of it. If people are willing to pay it, that means they perceive that the value is worth it. That means it's just fine. Because if they didn't, it wouldn't sell. Okay? The next one is place. And what I mean by this one is you have to be able to get the product and get it in a way that's not cumbersome. And yes, once again, a little bit problematic because they're having a hard time getting it these in regular comic shops, which is common, right? It's not unusual. But they've made an avenue, and in multiple avenues in some regards, to get these comic books. So you place your order, you wait, and it comes to your house. It doesn't get much easier than that. So place, pretty easy. So once again, a product people want, a price people are willing to pay, an easy way to get it. You go online, click some buttons, put it in, and there you go. It gets shipped to your house. Look, it's working for Amazon, right? So I love it when these SJWs complain, oh, they can't get them in comic shops. It doesn't hurt Amazon any, does it? No, that tends to be a way of the world right now. It's shifting away from brick and mortar, and more every year, proven statistically, is going to online purchasing. So another SJW fallacy is this: getting in stores is all that's important. Sure, it helps, but it's not the be-all, end-all. It's still very successful. And the last one is probably the thing that ComicsGate in general, or Team Comics, or whatever you want to say, has been the most successful at. Holy cow, man, there's been so much rain, it's just like flooding in some areas here. It's crazy. Well, anyway, the area that's been probably the most successful is promotion. They've been promoting the heck out of these books, and that's what you should do, and they do it in a positive way. It's not by criticizing your customer base. It's by listening to your customer base, asking questions, being polite to the consumer, because everybody is a potential consumer. And this is something that Marvel especially has really thrown out the window. They used to see it all the time with Stan Lee and things like that. He was great at promoting. Now they use criticizing as for promotion. Well, if you don't like it, there's something wrong with you. You are this phobe, that, anti this, just not for you. Granted, not everything's for everybody. Okay, there's market segmentation, absolutely. But if they've segmented their market so much, they're not selling anything. And they've pissed off a large portion of their market segments, making them go away. Whereas these books, they have not. Now, there is some controversial statements to this. Recently, Ethan Van Sciver said you should have 25,000 followers or whatever, on YouTube, or viewers or whatever, before you launch it. And Piper spoke out against that and said, "No, I don't think so." And here's the case. They're both right and they're both wrong. Okay? And here's the reason. One is there's no bar for success. The success for one person is different than another. Success for one person might be, I broke even with my comic book, or I made $3,000. Success for another person might mean they won't feel successful unless they hit $50,000 in profit. It's different. It varies. Both statements hold true. There's no hard number of followers or subscribers you have to have. And I don't think that's what Ethan really meant. I think it was just a generalization. But what he is saying is you have to build an audience. You have to build a group, because not everybody in that group too is going to buy your product. So it has to be big enough that you're delivering your message. And here's the key. For one, you want to need that base that's going to buy it right there. But on top of that, you need to have your message get out, that you have it, and that links with promotion. It's hard to promote when you only have a link to 2,000 people and you need 10,000. So you need a bigger base so you can promote it, because then you're no longer your own. The more people you can get at talking about your product for you, they become marketing branches for you. And so what Ethan means is, by having a large amount of them, and you build up that large base, you have a lot of supporters, a lot of people promoting your work and helping you do it. So they're both right, if you look at it that way. So there it is. There's the keys. Product. They have to have the right product people want. Place, the easy access to get it. The price that people are willing to pay. And promoting. And these people work hard at promoting that. Umbrella Guy has been post videos almost every day. Ethan Van Skyr posts videos every day. Your boy Zach, super successful, posts tons of videos every day. Now, I'm not saying you have to post videos every day either. Some of those will tell you otherwise. And they're probably right based on the metric. And some of you could say, well, don't argue with them. They're much more successful than your channel and than mine. And they're right. They are. But there's different ways to do it. You can have like maybe 3 videos a week, but it's scheduled. People know there's been success with that as well. What it's harder is when you're posting them erratically. And that's what I'm guilty of. I don't have a set schedule. I can't post every day due to my lifestyle. It's just not possible, especially with what's going on right now in my life. I've got a person that's under my care that calls me sometimes 4 times a day, at any time, any hour of the day, and then I've got to go take care of stuff for her. It's just the way life is, and that gets in the way. And I guess I should say it's impossible. It just makes it very hard to obtain that with family, jobs, and everything else. So more power, and that's not a complaint, more power to those other ones. And that is why their books have been successful. Look at what the SJWs do now. All they do is whine and complain. They don't promote the crap out of anything. And when they did promote, they promote very little, especially even if you look at Marvel stuff. They have all kinds of products they don't promote well. And when they do promote, they get it, for these minor micro segmentations based on things like gender and everything else. That's not how you promote. Especially when your book needs as many readers as possible, they need to do better mass marketing. All right, well, that's my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Why has ComicsGate or Comics Adjacent or whatever you want to call it, Team Comics, I like Team Comics, been so darn successful? And why can't these SJWs sell a book? All right, that's my thoughts. I'd love to hear yours on the subject. So thank you for hearing me. And until next time, keep it frugal.